guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and much appreciated you guys swinging by the channel and spending some of your day with me. Guys, today we're going to be talking about co-anglers again, the good, the bad, and the ugly co-anglers. And I wanted to do this because we're getting ready to get started into the next season, 2026. As we're winding down 2025, everybody's sort of thinking about their tournament plans if you fish those type of tournaments. And even if you don't fish tournaments, I sort of want to go over today some experiences I've had with co-anglers that have been good, that have been terrible, that have been all across the board. Because I got thinking about it, out of all the tournaments that I've fished my entire life for the past, 45, 50 years, and ever since they've been having pro-am tournaments with co-anglers, which has been since the mid-1980s, I probably fished with, I don't know, God, close to 2,000 different co-anglers. I mean, just thousands of them. So I've had a pretty good representation about what they're all like and what type of experience you have with them. So I'm going to go over some of my experiences today in the video here. Also, guys, before we get started, a couple quick things. Appreciate everybody's taking time to subscribe here to Intuitive Angling, man. If you like the channel and you want to do something that's free and easy to support it, just hitting that subscribe button and liking the videos and sharing the videos helps out. Also, guys, if you're wanting to go to the next level on the channel, you can be an Intuitive Angling channel member. Channel members get private videos every week that aren't seen by the public and access to my email address for your fishing questions. So just go to my homepage, hit the join button or the membership button for info. And thanks again for everybody that's been using all the links that I put in every video description. I really appreciate that support there. Okay, guys, co-anglers, man, it's sort of like a representation of the general public. It's like when you're dealing with thousands of different people, you sort of get a good cross-section of a little bit of everybody, personality-wise, everything. The demographic is all over the place. The socioeconomic, backgrounds are different. Everybody's unique and different. But in co-angling specifically, I want to talk about some things that have stood out, in my opinion, about the good experiences and the bad experiences. Okay, let's talk about the good experiences. And if you're a co-angler, this is going to be a good video for you guys to maybe absorb and assimilate some information to make your experience on the water, a lot better. One of the things that I always tell co-anglers, and first of all, guys, I don't have anything against co-anglers. Some of my best friends that I have ever met in my life, some of the closest friendships I've developed were with people that I fished with in tournaments as co-anglers. So I don't have any type of prejudice against them. But that being said, what I want to say about co-anglers is when you're a co-angler, here's the best piece of advice I can give you. You have to have a shift in your expectations when you enter a tournament. Your expectation and the goal of your being at that tournament should be to learn. That should be the number one thing. If you go into a tournament with that appetite to learn and assimilate information and not compete with your pro partner or not pressure your pro partner or not throw up in front of your pro partner or not get in the way of your pro partner, your experience is going to be unbelievably good. Because here is one of the things that you have to understand about your boater. When you draw a boater, there is a level of anxiety that comes with being a boater about you don't know how your co-angler is going to be. And the worst thing that a co-angler can do is either cast up in front of the boat or make the pro fish too fast. So when I'm talking about that, let's say you're fishing a boat dock, right? And if you're a boater on a boat and you're coming up and fishing this boat dock, you got to make a bunch of casts on this dock. It's like you've got to position your boat just right to get down the side of the dock, the front of the dock, behind the dock, wherever. You're all over the place trying to do it. If you're a co-angler in the back of the boat there, you can't let your pro cast up onto the dock and then you come right there, try to hit the same dock the very next cast. You got to let your boater have the cover until he's done with it. Because a lot of times in bass fishing, you simply cannot generate the strike unless you do that. Let me give a better example even than a boat dock. Let's talk about a lay down tree in the water. If there's a lay down tree in the water that your boater's getting ready to fish, don't even think, if you're a co-angler, guys, don't even think about casting to that lay down tree or anywhere near that lay down tree until your boater is finished with it. Because he may have to approach that tree at 10 different angles and throw 5 different baits in there repeatedly to catch a fish, he doesn't need to flip his jig into that tree and then all of a sudden you cast your spinnerbait, 3 feet away from him down the side of it. That is going to be a miserable experience for both of you if you do that, because your boater is going to get all pissed about it because he knows now he's got to focus on this dude in the back of the boat. He can't focus on catching that fish, and therefore he's going to treat you differently. So here's what I'm talking about, how your experience will be better if you go out there and just your focus is on learning and not catching fish. If I draw somebody that is giving me everything, it's like if you're a boater or co-angler, you're fishing behind the boat or nowhere near where I'm casting around this laydown tree, and I get to make 100 casts around this laydown tree, and you're nowhere to be seen. You're in the back of the boat. I have no idea what you're doing, and I get to focus on that. If you, like in my situation or any of the boater situation, if you give us that courtesy, I'm gonna bend over backwards to teach you and help you out every way I can. It's like I'm going to give you a seminar in the boat about bass fishing. I'll even give you the baits. But that is the whole thing about it. It's like if I know that you're not going to pressure me and I know I can completely focus on my own fishing and you're not even in my mind, I'm going to do everything I can, and I'm going to be open, transparent, and help you out as much as I possibly can. But if you're one of those guys, now in my opinion, not just me, a lot of other boaters too, if I've got this tree up there and I flip my jig in there or I throw my spinnerbait down the side of that tree, and the next thing I know, you're casting 3 or 4 feet away from me and you're trying to hit that tree that I'm fishing, it's going to be a bad day for you, because I'm going to position the boat where I can fish, where I'm going to protect myself. I've got the investment in the tournament. I've got more on the line. This is my business, and I'm going to protect my business. I'm not going to let somebody influence the way my day goes simply because of his aggressiveness. It is not going to help him out at all. They're not going to catch anything by doing that to begin with, but what it's going to do, it's going to throw everybody off. It's going to irritate your boater when you do that, and it's going to throw his vibe and his role and his focus off, and it's going to make you miserable because he's going to position you where you can't cast. So here's the best piece of advice I can give you with that, is that focus on your own water. Don't get anywhere near your boater's bait. Don't get anywhere near it. Don't get 20 foot away from it. And if you do that, the day is going to be so much better. And then another thing that you have to understand is that when you're a co-angler in the back of the boat, it's all about angle to you. And if you have to throw up in front of the boat to hit something that I'm hitting, you do not have the angle. So the odds of you generating the strike are extremely slim. But this is one of the things I always tell my co-anglers. It's like, I go, man, I said, I'm just telling you right now, the best way for you to catch fish is for you to cast behind the boat, because you get the same angle that I'm getting, but you're coming at a different angle. And I tell them, if you get hung up, man, I'll go get every bait that you get hung up. I have no problem with that. I said, but if you try to cast up in front of the boat or try to cast beyond the center part of the boat, you do not have the angle. You are not going to generate many strikes doing that, but you will generate a lot of strikes casting behind the boat. A lot of people have a hard time with that. A lot of people don't understand, that is actually the best way to do it. So in terms of talking about good and bad co-anglers, the best co-anglers that I have ever had, and I've fished with 5 co-anglers throughout my career that have won the tournament out of the back of my boat, I don't even know they're there. They are doing their own thing. They're not watching what I'm fishing. They're not throwing the lure I'm fishing. They're not trying to compete anywhere with the water I'm fishing. They're fishing out of the back of the boat, and that's their water. And they wound up winning 5 tournaments out of the back of my boat by doing that. That is the shift that you have to make. And in my own situation, and most boaters I know, if you start out the day where you say to him, it's like, man, I'm going to stay out of your way. I said, I'm not going to do anything to distract you from catching fish. The amount of anxiety that reduces from your boater, it's like a weight being lifted off them. And if I do that, that's when you are really, really willing to open up and help your co-angler learn as much more, and they're going to have a great experience, because they're going to come Let's say, for example, the co-angler fishes with me and he doesn't catch anything. But he's one of those co-anglers that understands that I've got to fish the way I need to fish. I will make sure by the end of the day that guy has had the amount of information and knowledge that he has gained from fishing with me is going to far surpass anything $200 he would have won in the tournament for making a top 10. He's going to come out of that so far ahead in information and knowledge and skill. It's not even going to be comparable. But if I get some dude out there that is trying to fish me as hard as I can and not giving and just on top of me all the time and throwing in front of the boat, he's going to have a miserable day. I'm just telling you right now, it's going to be bad, and he's not going to learn anything. He's not going to catch many fish. And I'm not saying that people can't, you're just back there watching and not fishing. You can catch a lot of fish fishing the way I'm talking about, fishing behind the boat. I've had tons of co-anglers catch limits and make good checks in the tournament and make the cuts in tournaments, doing exactly what I'm talking about there, fishing behind you. So from that standpoint, the best co-anglers that I have ever fished, and I fished with a lot of them. I'll give you a prime example. One of the best co-anglers that fish in the country right now, he's a friend of mine named Jeff Moss. He fishes the BFLs and the Toyota Series. He does extremely well. I mean, he's always in the top 10. He always makes the cuts. And I drew Jeff out in a tournament 2 years ago at Table Rock Lake. He was great to fish with, man. He was a hammer, but I didn't even know he was back there. He was fishing his own deal. As somebody that's a good angler like Jeff was, he understands what the boater has got to accomplish, and he respects that, and he focused on fishing his water. And that's how he does so good. He doesn't worry about what somebody in front is going to do or how he can get a cast up into the piece of cover that I'm fishing. He stayed back there and he fished his own stuff. I didn't even know he's back there. It was a great experience. So that is the thing that I want to stress in this tournament, or in this video here, as far as a co-angler being good or bad. It's just a matter of a perception shift and an attitude shift. And if you enter tournaments as a co-angler and your goal is to finish as high as you can in the tournament and catch as many fish as you can and be highly competitive in the tournament, you're in it for the wrong reasons. If that's your focus, you need to pony up and enter as a boater. Because if that's your focus, you're going to have a tough time. You're going to have a hard day. It's going to be miserable for both of you, and it's just not going to work out. But like I said, if you're one of those guys that says, man, I just want to learn today. I don't even care if I catch a fish. I'm not going to get in your way. You're going to come out of that tournament, man. You're going to say, God, that was well worth the $100 entry fee or whatever. I learned so much today that I'm going to be able to duplicate down the road. So I just want to throw that out there, guys. Just you try to make that shift, and I don't want to make it sound like I'm being an a-hole or something about this. It's just the reality of the situation. And one of the things that you have to do is you have to put yourself in the position of the boater. A lot of those guys, that's how they make their living. They put food on their family's table. They may not have another job. You have a job if you're a co-angler. That'd be like him going to your workplace and trying to interfere in the job that you do to take food off of his table. It's like, give the boater the respect that he deserves to do his own thing, and in turn, he will give you that respect too in other ways. So anyway, guys, hope that helps out, and appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll check in later.